Hey there, pretty girl alumni. Grab a seat and welcome to today's lesson. And let me just preface this is a very important lesson. All of them are important, but this one is very important, okay? So, as you have read from the title, you have to be the rich man. Now, let me start off by defining what rich I am talking about. So, I am talking about a rich that is holistic. So, it's not only about physical matter, but being rich to me is having an abundance of things that sustain you. So it is your emotional needs are met abundantly, your financial needs are met abundantly, which means you don't need to worry every month how you're going to pay this bill. Are you behind on your credit card? Do you have debt mounting to the top of your roof? So it is about being holistically secure and abundant, in my opinion. Now, why do pretty girls need to be rich? Well, this is because of protection. I have found through experiences and personal and also stories that I get told by other pretty girls or stories that I see online that for a lot of people, pretty girls are intimidating and pretty girls are seen as a form of social currency. A lot of men want to be with the pretty girl. A lot of girls want to be associated or friends with the pretty girl. So when you are pretty or attractive, people naturally just gravitate towards you. They want to know you, they want to be around you, this and that. And a lot of people have notions or preconceptions of what the pretty girl's like. So they expect you to just be pretty. That is all you are seen as. Very superficial, but this is the reality of human nature. They see you very superficially, they see you for your looks, and they get to know you and they find out, oh, wait, you're smart. Oh, now this is where it starts getting tricky is when you're a pretty girl, to put it bluntly, people expect you to be dumb or lacking in every other area in life. Why? Because they think it's not fair. It's not fair that you get to be this pretty because that already comes with a lot of social privileges. So, how is it fair that you're pretty, you're smart, you're kind, you got a good personality, you're sociable. When you start adding more things on top of being pretty, that is when you become even more of a target. And what being rich is simply protects you. It just protects you, it shields you from negative experiences, it shields you from being dependent on cruel people or people who don't have the best intentions in mind. Financially, it's quite easy to see, it's quite easy to understand why you would need to be. I think, quite frankly, every human needs to be financially secure because human nature is very predatory and a lot of vulnerable people become prey of you know, the not so nice people of society. And truly, honestly thinking about it, I believe that every single person on this earth is selfish. And I truly believe that you will never run into one single person who is going to do things out of the kindness of their heart. It is usually to fulfill some sort of intrinsic need, whether it be physical or whether it just be, you know, very metaphysical, something about wanting to be a good person. I truly believe that that is selfish. So, first of all, human nature is very selfish, and add on top of that the competitiveness and the ferocity of capitalism that makes people even more predatory, even more competitive, even more just not kumbaya. Just not kumbaya and very wanting to be at the top of the social ladder, basically. And a lot of people see pretty women as at the top of the social ladder. They see pretty women as they get to have experiences that other people don't have, or they get access to spaces that other people have a lot of money or a lot of networking. Like other people have to do a lot more than what you had to do, right? So what happens is there is this quiet envy, and they try to humble you. And this can be subconscious and this can be very conscious, but at the end of the day, I am here advocating for the pretty girl. So I'm always going to be on the pretty girl side. I am never going to justify or excuse any negative actions against the pretty girl. So just to put that out there. Um, what happens is that a lot of people try to humble the pretty girl as to not feel those insecure feelings as much, as to not feel lesser than. So they will try to humble you. They will look at what they do have that you may not have. And I'll give you a personal experience. My story was that the people who are always trying to humble me, let me look at one example. The person that was trying to humble me came from a good home, and I didn't. And I shared a lot of those vulnerabilities with them, and they kind of used it to one up me in certain situations. So, this is why I say you need to be secure in every aspect that sustains you, because you never want your survival or your well being to be reliant on someone and just hoping and praying that they have the best intentions for you. And some people you might not even see in the moment. Some people are very good at playing the long game, especially if they think it is worth it, and especially if they think that they have nothing better to do. When someone makes you their goal, you cannot vet them for long enough. You cannot see their true intentions through any sort of trickery or whatever, whatever, because they're willing to do and put in a lot of effort that normal people wouldn't to deceive you. So, best to just have your own little world, your own little sanctuary that you can return to when you do encounter someone like that. And I'm just going to give a few example of the starter things that you should have. And this is obviously depending on age, accessibility to resources, a lot of things. People don't have it because of access not being available. But if you do have majority of these things and make a list to tick off the rest, or put these in your at least put these in your thought boxes, and don't neglect these aspects of your life. Okay, so number one is your own property, your own place. Okay, this can be renting for now if you cannot afford to buy property. The real estate field is very expensive, and that is understandable. But you have to have your own space, your own place that is safe for you. In case you are living with an abusive partner who might turn on you in the future, or maybe your family members aren't the most supportive, whatever. But you, as a pretty girl, you need your own space. Number two is your own means of transport, okay? And if if you live in a country that has a good public transport system, awesome. If you don't live in a country with a good public transport system, you have to invest in your own car, in being able to fund your Uber trips. So essentially, you need to have your own money for your basic needs and for a little bit of your social needs every month. So you're able to go out every once in a while. Maybe at the end of the year, you're able to save up for a trip. So that is what I mean on the financial aspect. Now let's look at the emotional aspect. The emotional aspect for me would be, how do you regulate your emotions? Do you rely on other people, or can you regulate your own emotions? So if you feel weird, like let's say you wake up one day and you feel oddly sad or melancholy and you don't know why, like it's just a normal day, nothing happened, and you start feeling sad, maybe you're about to have your period, for whatever reason. You need to know how to self-regulate your emotions without being destructive. That is my number one goal. And also not relying too much on others. Now, I'm not saying that you need to cut everyone out of your circle, don't talk to anyone, you don't need anyone. Obviously, not. That is not true. We all need to have some sort of social and human interaction. It is just the nature of our anatomy. But what you don't want is someone to recognize that, get close to you on purpose emotionally, and then use that as a means to manipulate you. So if your friend wants you to do something for them, they know that they can use that to manipulate you, and they'll say, "Oh, well, then next time I'm just not gonna call. I'm just not gonna pick up when you call when you're having your meltdowns, or when you're having a episode, or when you're not in the best of mental health." Same with your partners. You don't want that to be a weapon in their arsenal. I always think of your vulnerabilities and the insecurities that you don't work on as you giving someone ammunition against you. And I'm not saying you need to be perfect. Someone's gonna always find something to call out about you, but don't make it so easy. Don't give them the bullets in a silver on a silver platter to say, here are the bullets that you can shoot me with. You want them to not know. You want them to see you almost in this light of, wow, that person is really secure and really sure about themselves. And you want them to question if they should try you. Basically, you want people to sit and question really, really hard and for a really long time whether they should try you or not. And that is, for me, the journey of life. But yeah, you need to be able to regulate yourself and self-soothe. I always say self-soothe is the best form of soothing, because no one will ever, outside of yourself, know exactly what they need, exactly what they need to say to themselves. You are your biggest gaslight. So you can literally gaslight yourself into believing anything. Now use that to your advantage. Don't use that against you. Use that to your advantage. Now, that is the emotional aspects. I'm going to talk a little bit about other aspects, maybe being educated and being knowledgeable about a lot of things is also a form of being rich. People can't use ignorance against you. People can't diminish you as a person, especially as a pretty girl. I feel like a lot of people try to make us feel or make us think that the only reason why we get things is because we're pretty, and it has nothing to do with any of our other attributes. And when you achieve education or accolades outside of your looks, or that do not only take looks, that kind of forces people to not be able to use that against you. It boxes people and it perplexes them, but it is to your benefit because they can't say that about you. You can't say to someone who has a master's degree in something that they're dumb. You can't say that someone who has a bachelor's degree in something and is promoted to the top of the rank or who graduated with distinctions that the only thing good about them is their face. You can't use those insults against the pretty girl when they are pretty and smart and wealthy and knowledgeable and sociable. You can't you can't say that about the pretty girl. So that is my lesson for today. Please tell me if you can relate to any of these topics. Please comment down below what you would like to hear me talk about next and like and subscribe. I will see you next time. Bye.